Hey everyone, so it's time to talk dog nutrition. This one's going to be a bit of a longer video probably, so grab some popcorn, grab a seat, and settle in, because this one's going to be quite the ride. So, dog nutrition and human nutrition is actually very similar. Humans and dogs aren't that far apart when it comes to like the digestive health and so on. So it's not too different from what you would do for yourself. However, dogs actually don't need grain, so grain-free foods are usually the best way to go. Of course there are exceptions, but grain-free foods are usually going to be the better way to go. So you're probably wondering, if I'm looking for a good dog food, what do I look for? One thing to note is that dogs actually don't need grain. They don't have the tools to digest it, so it just kind of passes through. Of course there are exceptions where dogs do need grain sometimes, but most of the time a grain-free food will do you just fine. Also, most of the premium stuff will use human quality ingredients in their dog foods, like Acana, Signature, and Fromm. And similar to humans, dogs also need probiotics. Now what probiotics do is they pretty much just help out with general digestive health. Now if you've ever done an antibiotic for your dog, which will not only kill off the bad bacteria, but will also kill off the good bacteria as well. So you want to do a probiotic to help replace that good bacteria again. Now that we talked about what's in a good dog food, let's talk about what comes in more of the commercial stuff, like Purina, Iams, Blue Buffalo, that kind of thing. Now let's say that you take a look at the back of a bag of Purina. What you'll usually find is an ingredient that looks like meat meal, meat byproduct, that kind of thing. This is really just a fancy way of saying rendered meat. Now you're probably wondering, what's rendered meat? Rendered meat is pretty much just going to be a mix of random meats that's kind of thrown into a blender, and it's pretty much hot dogs for dogs. It's almost always some of the worst quality stuff that you can possibly find. And you'd be forgiven for not knowing that it's in the food, because it's not like they're saying it outright or anything like that. And if you don't know what to look for on the label, you won't even know what it is. And switching over to Iams for a little bit, Iams actually has been found to be putting sugar in some of their dog food. Also, some of the more commercial foods will also use coloring in their foods to give it kind of multicolored, like green, red, brown, yellow, that kind of thing. Which, it's honestly more for the consumer than for the dog, because the dog doesn't really care what it looks like, he's just happy that there's food in front of him. So it's a little bit more for the consumer, just to make the food look a little bit better, which none of our foods will have any artificial colorings or anything like that in them. They'll just be the natural color. Also, a lot of commercial foods are going to have a ton of corn in them, which corn is just kind of used as a filler. And what you'll find with this is your dog actually needs to eat more of a commercial food than more of a natural food to get the same nutritional value. Also, they'll poop more too. Having said that, all the grains that you'll find in our store will be grains like oats, barley, and rice. The good grains, not the bad stuff like corn, wheat, soy, that kind of thing. Now, a lot of the commercial dog food companies out there tend to use a lot of meats from China, which aren't the highest quality stuff. What you'll find in our store is that all of our meats will be either from America or New Zealand, and New Zealand actually has a higher meat standard than America does, so you're going to get the highest quality stuff with the natural dog food. And a lot of our dog foods will contain some of the digestive stuff that I talked about earlier, like probiotics, digestive enzymes, and other things like that. All of our dog foods will also carry natural fats, which are good for not only skin and coat, but are also necessary for brain function. Anyways guys, I hope I covered everything that you were looking for. If you do have any more questions, make sure you go over to our Facebook page and send us a message there, or you can leave a comment on this video and we'll try and help you out as best as possible.